Okay, we are back on record. The time is 3:33, and this begins media 3.
Ms. McClure, you understand that you're still under oath?
Absolutely.
Okay. Before the lunch break, you gave me 8 pages of documents that you had found in preparation for today's deposition. I've just handed those back to you, and I made copies during the break. I have marked the copies of the documents you brought as Exhibit A-1. If you would just confirm that what I marked as A-1 is a correct copy of what you provided, we'll put those into the record for your deposition and move on.
Yes, that's them.
Good.
And you've given me copies back. I need my little pink sheet for this part.
Okay. So you have a sheet with some pink highlighting, but you also had a handwritten sheet from before the break.
And you just took it back. It was still in that pile.
Oh. Sorry, it's at the bottom of the pile. Okay, there you go.
Got it?
Right. I didn't copy the handwritten sheet. Are those pages that I can go copy real fast so we're looking at the same things together?
You know, actually, I'm not even sure that it's responsive to the document demands. It is a list of ex partes and then her notes about those ex partes, but the deposition notice asked for the ex partes communications themselves.
Well, let me ask you this. Are those 2 sets of notes you have in front of you right now helpful to you testifying today?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to take a break and go make copies of those.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going off record. The time is 3:35.
There's a little copy machine downstairs. Back on the
Okay,
record.
we're back on the record. The time is 3:38.
All right, Ms. McClure, I'm going to give you back those 2 sets of documents. I made copies. And the first, get a set from you, Joel. So the double-sided page, it has your pink highlighting on it. The copies don't reflect any highlighting, but I just want you to confirm that what I'm going to mark as Exhibit Y is a true and correct copy of your
It is.
of your 1-page document. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
It's so awkward not being able to have conversation.
It's an odd format, but you do need to wait until Mr. Briggs finishes his question before you answer.
And I will try my hardest.
Right, and then what we're going to mark as Exhibit Z, which is 4 pages. Can you just confirm that I made a good copy of that with Exhibit Z?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just backwards. It was numbered 1 through 42, not 42 back. But
Sorry. Other than being in the wrong order, the copy's correct, yes?
yes, it is.
Okay. Tell me
Thank
what
you.
Exhibit Y is. Your
Exhibit Y, it's titled Defendant Martha McClure, was given to me, I don't know when, but it was a list of all of my ex partes through 2015 through the year of 2015.
Okay. And what were you doing when you were making notes on Exhibit Y?
I was looking at, for instance, I have parentheses here because the Black Hills Villa is listed twice, but it was actually only 1 ex parte.
Okay.
I have underlined ones that could come into question in relationship to the 7-day, and I recorded the votes, and I'll go over those with you when we reach them.
Okay.
But that's generally what it is.
Okay, and then tell me what Exhibit Z is.
Exhibit Z is I took all of the ex partes listed on 2015, and I then went to the video and looked at the video to confirm all of my oral ex partes that I had given. And I tried to record the place on the tape, the hour and minutes that the recording was to what I was saying, and I tried to identify all of the people that were at each ex parte.
Okay. And the handwriting that appears on exhibits Y and Z is all your own handwriting, correct?
Correct.
And I'm going to show you an exhibit that we've marked as number 1. Do you recognize exhibit 1?
Yes, I do.
Is that your signature on the document?
Yes, it is.
Do you know whether this document was included in the website materials that were available to you and the public before the public hearing on the project to which Exhibit 1 relates?
No, it would not have been included.
Why not?
Because it was given, well, it was given within the 7 days on the mic.
Okay, so this Exhibit 1 you gave within 7 days on the dais,
Correct.
Okay. And so if I were to look at your Exhibit Z, is there something that shows where on the mic you gave this ex parte disclosure?
No, because this was 2014,
Okay,
and I only, this reflects all of 2015.
I see. How do you know that you gave an ex parte disclosure on the mic for the communication in Exhibit 1?
Because I submitted it on the 8th, and the ex parte was on the 3rd.
So, did you go back and look at the video archives to see whether you ever disclosed this from the
Not
dais?
on this one.
Okay. So you actually don't know for sure that you disclosed it, correct? On the mic, that is.
Yes, I did disclose it on the mic.
Okay, so you're certain that you orally disclosed the ex parte communication reflected in Exhibit 1,
Yes.
but you don't know whether it shows up in the video archives for this particular Coastal Commission meeting, correct?
I haven't checked the video archives, but it would be there because it was given then, and the video archives are complete time.
Okay, and if it's not in the video archives, does that mean the video archives are wrong or that your recollection's wrong?
Objection calls for speculation.
Let me ask you this, do you have any reason to believe that the video archives are incomplete?
No.
Any reason to believe that they've been altered?
No.
Any reason to believe that they would not report an oral ex parte disclosure that you would have made while you were on the dais?
Say that again.
Do you have any reason to believe that the video archives on the Coastal Commission's website would not depict you making an oral disclosure from the dais for this particular project?
No.
Okay. How long did this ex parte communication last?
I don't have a recollection of time.
Do you recall who did the majority of the talking?
Mr. Niche.
Did you ask any questions of Mr. Niche?
I don't recall if I asked questions.
Did you say anything to Mr. Niche during the telephone conference?
This wasn't in person.
The ex parte disclosure in Exhibit 1 was in person?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Do you know why it says location of communication phone conference?
Oh, maybe it was a phone conference. I'm sorry.
Was it in person or a phone conference?
It would have been a phone conference if that's what I put down.
Okay. Did anyone other than Mr. Niche talk during the phone conference?
I don't remember.
Did you ask any questions during the phone conference?
I don't recall.
I'll have you take a look at Exhibit 2. I should just say Exhibit 1 for the record is a January 3, 2014 ex parte disclosure. Did you sign Exhibit 1 on January 8th of 2014?
Yes.
And you personally turned it in to the commission on January 8th of 2014?
Yes.
Was that at a commission meeting that you
Yes.
turned it in? You turned it in at a commission meeting?
Yes.
Show you an exhibit we'll mark as number 2. Number 2 is for a May 7, 2014 ex parte. Do you recognize that document?
Yes.
Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, it is.
Did you sign it on May 17 of 2014?
Yes, I did.
On what date did the ex parte occur?
May 7th?
Is there a reason you didn't disclose this ex parte sooner?
Yes.
What's the reason?
This was my standard. If it were going to be looking at the beginning of the meeting date and the end of the meeting date, I would look at those 3 days, and this one maybe even beyond that, but I would try to make sure that I reported it out on the record so it would stay with the record of that ex parte, of that item.
Did you disclose this on the record, this particular ex parte?
I believe I did, yes.
Do you acknowledge that this ex parte should have been disclosed before May 17th?
Yes.
Do you understand that this ex parte disclosure was late under the ex parte rules?
Yes.
Okay. There's a reference in your disclosure to an exhibit booklet. Do you see that?
Yes.
Where is the exhibit booklet?
It would have been turned into the staff, but it was an exhibit booklet that had already been delivered to staff.
How do you know it had already been delivered
My
to staff?
memory.
We can't talk over each other.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
So you verified before signing this disclosure form that the exhibit booklet had been given to staff before your ex parte communication?
I didn't verify. I made the assumption that that was accurate.
Okay. Please take a look at Exhibit 3. Exhibit 3 is an ex parte disclosure with dates of August 24, 2014 through August 29, 2014. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
What do you understand that document to be?
An ex parte that I had with an applicant in Crescent City, John Pappas.
Is it just one ex parte? Or is it multiple ex partes?
It's a description of when he first contacted me. as the applicant, and we met on the 24th, 25th, and 29th. And the 25th.
Are all of the ex partes on Exhibit 3 for
John
Mr.
Pappas.
They're all for the same person?
Correct.
Do you know whether you ever submitted this ex parte to the Coastal Commission?
I don't have recollection.
Do you know whether the Coastal Commission ever actually received it from you?
I don't know. On the mic.
Do you know whether the Coastal Commission ever received a copy of Exhibit 3 from you?
Yes, because this was forwarded to Vanessa, and that's when I responded with hard copy to follow.
Do you know what date you submitted it to Vanessa?
No, I don't.
Was anybody else present for the ex partes reflected in Exhibit 3?
Possibly my husband was with me when we toured the property
Would you have
on the
talked
25th.
Would you have talked to your husband about the project?
No,
Okay.
he would have just been there.
Chauffeur
He's my driver.
driving Miss McClure.
Well, I can't drive at night, and so he drives me a lot. But
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. The first, well, there are two ex partes here that apparently occurred on August 24th of 2014. Is that right?
Yes. Because this was a phone call, and then he came to my house.
Okay. And if the ex partes occurred on August 24th of 2014, they should have been disclosed no later than when?
I don't remember because, like I say, I only did 2015, and so I don't actually know the date that this was on the dais.
Well, if two ex partes occurred on August 24th, would you agree that they would have had to be turned into the commission no later than August 31st?
Correct. Well, it says on the 29th was when we finished up.
Right, but you had ex parte conversations on the 24th of August, correct? According to Exhibit 3?
I had a phone call from Mr. Pappas when he came, and then he came to my house, which wasn't a scheduled ex parte, but he came to my house, and then in person we talked about it, and then we went. Then on the 25th is when I went to his property to see what he was talking about. And again, on the 24th, it's when he just arrived at my house. It wasn't any kind of planned appearance or anything. He was just pretty angry and came. And then on the 25th is when we went and toured the property. And then we waited until the staff report was released. And then we sat down and looked at it. And that was the scheduled time that we sat down to look.
Is it your position that you didn't have to disclose the August 24 ex parte communications until your whole series of communications were over?
Well, you don't need to take a position on.
Yeah,
the
I'll
application.
rephrase the question.
Okay.
I didn't mean.
Okay.
Is there a reason why you didn't do an ex parte disclosure no later than August 31st of 2014?
On the 29th is when I finished up with Mr. Pappas. And the others were just leading to it because he was very, probably on the 24th, when he talked to me, it was probably major we talked about process and waiting for this to come out, and I agreed to go to his property because he was projecting what was going to be in the report. And I had to wait to see the report before I could report out what I did.
So which date in Exhibit 3 do you think is the one that triggered your 7-day reporting obligation?
I would need to go back and look at the 2014. Like I say, I didn't look at when I reported it out on the mic.
I'm not asking when you reported it. I want to know, looking at Exhibit 3,
Mm-hmm.
which of those ex parte meetings do you think triggered your obligation to make a written disclosure?
The 29th.
You
I
think
felt that was ongoing, that it was like, okay, John, calm down. I hear you. I know what you're talking about. He's very well known to be very animated. And so it was like, calm down, we'll go see the property, and then we'll wait until the information is released, and then we can talk about the concerns.
Okay, I'll take Exhibit 3 from you. Take a look at Exhibit 2 again. Tell me, do you know whether Exhibit 2 was ever received by the Coastal Commission?
I turned it into the Coastal Commission on May 17th.
But you didn't get a stamped copy of it?
Not the practice of the commission at that time.
So you didn't get a stamped
Please
copy
answer
of
the
it?
question you're asking.
No.
Well, according to Exhibit 1, there's a stamp of January 8th of 2014, right?
Correct.
So the commission stamped your disclosure on January 8th of 2014. Did they change their practice between January of 2014 and May of 2014?
That would be unknown to me.
Okay. You knew when you turned in Exhibit 1 in January of 2014 that they put a stamp on it, correct?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
You didn't stick around to make sure it was stamped?
No.
Okay. I'm going to show you Exhibit 4. Exhibit 4 says item W16A through F in the upper right-hand corner for multiple projects that have the number 4-10-0 and then other digits. On August 7, 2014. Do you recognize that document?
There's also one that came at 414, two that are at 414.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
looks like 7 projects on this disclosure form, correct? 6.
They were all bundled.
Yes.
Yes.
You recognize the disclosure form?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a signed copy of it?
No, I don't.
Did you prepare this form?
No, this was prepared by by one of the applicants. I read it and felt that it represented the discussion that we had had.
Did you submit it to the Coastal Commission?
Yes.
Do you have any idea why there's no received stamp on it?
No.
Who did you give it to at the Coastal Commission?
I would have given it to Vanessa.
Did anybody see you give it to Vanessa?
Unknown to me.
Is there a reason you didn't put the date at the bottom?
A lot of these, when I gave them at the dais, I felt that I had met the obligation and I just turned these in and I didn't sign them or date them. Rather, they were within the 7 days.
Did you orally disclose these ex partes?
Yes.
At the Coastal Commission meeting on October 8th of 2014?
Correct.
Do you know whether the video archives include footage of you making the disclosure?
I would consider them that it would be there, yes,
Okay.
based on the accuracy of the video archives.
Okay. You haven't verified that it's there, correct?
No,
Is it possible that it's not there?
no.
Do you know whether anybody could alter the video archives?
Objection. Vague. Are you saying go into the archives themselves and alter it, or
Well,
alter it subsequent?
At any
Okay.
point, are you aware of anybody having the capability of altering the video archives that are on the Commission's website?
It would be unknown to me if anyone had that capacity.
Okay. Do you have any way of verifying whether you made an oral disclosure for the ex partes in Exhibit 4, other than looking at the video archives?
Other than looking at the official record, yes.
Yeah, how would you
That would be it, the official record.
Okay, the video archives.
Correct.
Okay.
Which are part of the official record.
Take a look at Exhibit 5, please. Exhibit 5 is an unsigned, undated disclosure form for an ex parte on October 10, 2014, concerning the ranch at Laguna Beach appeal. Do you recognize that disclosure form, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Did you prepare it?
No, I didn't.
Who prepared it?
The applicant,
Who was present for this ex parte?
the applicant himself and myself.
Anybody else?
Possibly my husband may have been there
Where did it occur?
at the location site of the application.
Was this on the day of a Coastal Commission meeting?
It was either the day before or the day of, yes. I was in that area for a Coastal Commission meeting. In fact, I think it was yes, I do. But
Yes, what?
I think it was during a Coastal Commission meeting.
Okay. And when was the hearing on this project? Within a couple days of the ex parte disclosure?
Correct.
Within the 7-day period?
Correct.
Did you orally disclose this ex parte from the dais?
Yes, I did.
Are you sure of that?
Yes, I am.
Are the video archives the only way we would verify whether you made the oral disclosure from the dais?
Yes.
Is there a reason why there's no... Do you know why there is no received stamp on this Exhibit 5?
I do not.
And it didn't occur to you in October of 2014 to get a received stamp?
No, it did not. I should say, no, I did not. Sorry.
Do you have any idea whether Exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 were ever posted in the online official record before the meetings for the projects to which they pertain?
They would not, because they were reported at the dais.
Okay. So the public would not have seen Exhibits 1 through 5 before the Coastal Commission meetings, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Take a look at Exhibit 6, please. You recognize Exhibit 6?
Yes, I do.
What is Exhibit 6?
Exhibit 6 is the application for Santa Barbara Charles Meyer v. Sal facility,
This is your ex parte disclosure on that project, correct?
correct?
Is that your signature at the bottom of the page?
Yes, it is.
Do you know whether that document was ever submitted to the Coastal Commission?
I turned it in on the day of the commission hearing. After I reported it on the mic.
When you reported it on the mic, did you describe the substance of the ex parte communication, or did you simply state that your ex parte was on file?
Unknown. Oh, it wouldn't have been on file.
Okay, so if you didn't have your ex parte on file at the time of the hearing for the Charles Meyer desalination project, do you think you were required to provide a complete description of the ex parte communication? Or do you think you were allowed to simply say my ex parte is on file?
Unknown. Well, no, it wouldn't have been on file. So I would have given a description of what the ex parte was on the phone from February 6th.
Your oral disclosure for this ex parte communication would have been the only way any member of the public would have known you had the communication, correct?
Correct.
I'll show you an exhibit we'll mark as number 7. Exhibit 7 is an ex parte disclosure for Martha McClure. The project is the Crummer project, C-R-U-M-M-E-R. The ex parte communication was on February 6th of 2015. Do you recognize that document, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, it is.
You just signed this form on February 11 of 2015.
Yes, I did.
Did you make a disclosure, an oral disclosure from the dais?
Yes, I did.
Was that oral disclosure on February?
That is one that on my notes and research, I couldn't find the Crummer because I wasn't sure if it had been withdrawn, or I couldn't find it on the agenda.
Okay, well, did you go look in the video archives?
Yes.
And you
I couldn't find it on those days. But I do know that I turned one in, and I do know that I had an ex parte on Crummer, but I couldn't verify when I did my research.
So you actually couldn't find your from the dais disclosure of this ex parte communication, correct?
I couldn't find Crummer. Was my problem.
You looked at the video archives for the commission meeting in February of 2015, correct?
Correct.
Did you look at all of the archives?
Yes, and in fact, I think that one may have been a four-day meeting.
And you looked through all of the archives, but you couldn't find your disclosure, correct?
I couldn't find Crummer.
Okay, well, if you couldn't find Crummer, that means you couldn't find your disclosure, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I don't know why I couldn't. It's still on my list to do. Oh.
Question was whether you found it or not.
Okay, I'll take... You didn't get a receipt showing
No.
that you turned in Exhibit 7, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay. take a look at Exhibit 8. Exhibit 8 is an ex parte disclosure for a communication on February 6, 2015. The project is application number 4-13-001. Do you recognize the signature on Exhibit 8?
Yes, it's mine.
And did you sign this document on February 11 of 2015?
Correct.
You don't have a received copy of this document?
No, I do not.
Did you make the oral disclosure from the dais?
The best of my memory tells me yes.
Okay. Did you go and verify that you made the oral disclosure on the video archives?
Let me look. I'm pretty sure it's on here, but I have to remember. What was the date again?
February 6th of 2015.
First page. Yes, I verified it on the mic, on the hearing date, which was 2/10/2015, and it's at the 5-hour .09 minutes mark.
Which number is that entry on Exhibit Z?
That would be number 4.
Okay. Do you remember what your disclosure was?
Yes, it was what I presented. What was given to the record.
Did you read from the dais what you have written here on Exhibit 8? Or did you just say my ex parte is on file?
Unknown.
Well, you went and verified it in order to put it on Exhibit Z, didn't you?
Yes, but I didn't, as soon as I found my ex parte and marked the time, I didn't listen to the whole ex parte.
Was that true for all of the entries on Exhibit 7? You found the start of your ex parte, but you didn't listen to your disclosure?
So, yes, I would listen to the disclosure about who was there, the time of the meeting, and the place of the meeting. And I listened to what they said, but I don't have any, I didn't put anything beyond that.
Okay. Let's take a look at Exhibit 9. Exhibit 9 is a disclosure for an ex parte communication on February 9 of 2015 concerning the Black Hills Villas project. Do you recognize that document, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, it is.
Did you sign it on February 11 of 2015?
To the best of my recollection, yes, I did.
Do you know whose handwriting it is that appears at the top?
No, I don't.
Do the initials VM mean anything to you?
Oh, that would be Vanessa,
Vanessa who?
the clerk at the, for the commission.
Do you know her last name?
No, I don't.
Okay. Did the commission have a practice in 2015 of making some sort of notation on ex parte disclosures when they're received?
Unknown. I turned them in and didn't.
Well, let me show you Exhibit 8.
Mm-hmm.
You testified that you signed Exhibit 8 on February 11 of 2015.
Yes.
And you turned it in person, correct?
Correct.
And it has no received stamp on it, correct?
Correct.
It doesn't have Vanessa's initials on it, right?
Correct.
But the disclosure that you turned in to the same person on the same day does have her initials, right?
Correct.
And you don't have any understanding of why that is?
No, I don't.
Do you know what your disclosure was? Do you know what you said from the mic, from the dais on the Black Hills Villas project for your disclosure?
No, I don't.
Do you know whether you disclosed the substance of what you've written on that form, Exhibit 9?
I either disclosed the substance or reported that the substance was the same as other commissioners that had reported prior to my report.
Okay. I'll show you Exhibit 10. Exhibit 10 is an ex parte disclosure form for the Malibu LCPA on February 9 of 2015. Do you recognize that document, ma'am?
No, because that's the crummer that I couldn't. I recognize the document.
That was the question.
Yes, I do.
Okay, is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, it is.
Did you sign it on February 11 of 2015?
Yes, I did.
Did you turn it into the Coastal Commission?
Yes,
Do you know when you turned it in?
on the day I signed it.
Okay. Did you make an oral disclosure?
Yes, I did.
Do you know what the substance of your oral disclosure was?
In relationship to what was said at the mic or what I turned in. I mean, it was
Your oral disclosure. Did you repeat what was written on Exhibit 10, or did you say something else?
unknown.
You don't recall? You don't know what you said?
Correct.
Let me show you Exhibit 11. Exhibit 11 is an ex parte disclosure for a conversation on April 13th of 2015 concerning the Monarch Bay Club. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
Is that your signature on the document?
Yes, it is.
Did you sign it on April 15 of 2015?
Yes, I did.
Did you have an ex parte communication on this project before the public hearing on it?
On April 13th, yes.
Did you, the disclosure in Exhibit 11 wouldn't have been in the official record on the Commission's website, correct?
No, because I hadn't had the ex parte before it was reported out, before the website published.
Right. So, did you do an oral disclosure?
Yes, I did.
Do you know when you did the oral disclosure?
Let me see if I can find them. It was April. I don't have it. I don't have it. But I do know the number where it would be on the, wait, what is the title of this one?
Monarch Bay Club. Look at number 17 on your
Yeah,
Exhibit Z.
Monarch Bay Club, and I have that it's at 2:20 on the video, and also I would have reported at the same time because these were two separate. I had a communication with Susan McCabe and Bill Dobbs, and then, oh no, it's the same one. I thought you gave me one from Fred Gaines or something.
Okay, let's look
I'm
at,
sorry, I got confused.
Item 17 on your Exhibit Z,
Mm-hmm.
it states ex parte reported on mic. Does that say 12:20 or 2:20?
It's 2 hours and 20 seconds into the tape.
2 hours and 20 seconds or 2 hours and 20 minutes?
Oh, 2 hours and 20 minutes into the tape is when my ex parte is up.
Okay. Did you go listen to your ex parte disclosure to make sure that you disclosed the communication with Susan McCabe and Bill Dodds?
Yes, I did.
And it's on the video archives?
Correct.
And did you make reference to the date of the ex parte communication?
Yes.
And did you give a full description of the ex parte communication itself?
To the best of my knowledge, I gave yes.
Okay. Let me show you Exhibit 12. For the record, Exhibit 12 is an ex parte disclosure form for The Ranch, April 13 of 2015. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
Is that your signature on it?
Yes, it is.
Did you sign it on April 15th of 2015?
Yes, I did.
Did you orally disclose this ex parte?
Yes.
Did you disclose the full substance of the ex parte communication?
Yes.
Okay, let me have you take a look at Exhibit. Let me ask you one other question. I noticed that Exhibit 12, Exhibit 11 are in 2015 and they now have received stamps on them.
Correct.
Do you see that?
Yes.
So by April of 2015 was the commission stamping, putting a received stamp on your ex parte communications?
Foundation.
On your ex parte disclosures?
It's on those, that's what I know.
Okay. Let me show you Exhibit 13.
Thank you.
Exhibit 13 is an ex parte disclosure for a number of projects having the number 4-10-, then there's different numbers, 7 projects on May
Correct.
7th of 2015. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do. And I believe it's the same
Well, I'm
document.
asking you whether
Yes, I
you
do.
recognize it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know when the hearing was for these projects?
I do. It was on the 10th of December.
Are we looking at Exhibit 13?
Oh, wait. Because they came twice. Yes, it was on the 14th of May.
Okay, did you disclose it from the dais?
Yes. It's 1 hour and 55 minutes into the
Okay.
meeting.
Do you have any idea why this written disclosure wasn't received by the commission until May 18th of 2015?
I have no idea.
Okay. Do you know whether, in fact, your disclosure in Exhibit 13 was even received by the Coastal Commission on May 18th of 2015?
It's stamped, yes. So yes,
Okay.
it was received.
You believe the stamp. Is that correct?
You asked me, they received it on the 18th? Yes.
Okay.
But I believe that it was given to them earlier.
Okay. Well, what's the basis for believing that it was given to the Coastal Commission before they stamped it on May 18th?
Because when I would give my ex partes, I would turn those papers in.
Okay. Take a look at Exhibit 14. Exhibit 14 is an ex parte disclosure for the Keane, Keane, Malibu project
Correct.
on August 3 of 2015.
Correct?
Do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do.
Do you know when it was submitted to the Coastal Commission?
Let me look
Well,
here.
let me strike that. Do you know whether it was submitted to the Coastal Commission?
I would have turned it in after my ex parte on the mic.
Do you know what the date of the hearing was for this item?
I'm trying to find it on my notes so I
Okay.
can be accurate.
Was it August 12 of 2015?
No. Not of my community. Let me look. It was August 15. Yes, it was on, the hearing date was 8/11. And the ex parte was received on the 3rd by telephone with Sarah Wan and Frank Angel.
Okay. And you strike that. Okay.
Sorry. All these papers.
Let me have a look at Exhibit 15. Exhibit 15 is an ex parte disclosure for September 8th of 2015. The project is Newport Banning Ranch. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall when you submitted this form to the Coastal Commission?
September 9th.
Do you have any documents showing that you submitted it on September 9th?
Just this one.
Do you have anything showing when the Coastal Commission received it?
No, I don't.
So how do you know you submitted it on September 9th of 2015?
Because when my practice was that after I would read or deliver my ex parte that had been prior to 7 days, I would turn this document in. And that's what I did. That's how come they have a copy of it.
So you orally disclosed the September 8, 2015 ex parte communication at the Coastal Commission meeting on September 9th of 2015?
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong. It was the 10th. I have this one on the 7th.
Okay, let's just
The
look at...
Banning Ranch. What?
I'm just talking about Exhibit 15.
I may have gotten them mixed up. And what was the date of it?
Exhibit 15 shows an ex parte communication on September 8.
Right, but I'm just looking on my list here. I cannot locate it on my notes, so I would need to say I don't remember that one, but that's all I should say.
And you don't have any documentation showing when you submitted it to the Coastal Commission, correct?
No, only on the date that I signed it.
Do you, as you sit here right now, do you recall turning it in on the date you signed it?
Right now I'm confused as to what it is because my notes, I don't have it in my notes properly.
Okay, well, let's just look at Exhibit 15. I'm not asking about your notes right now. You signed Exhibit 15 on September 9th of 2015, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Do you, sitting here right now, recall submitting it to the Coastal Commission on September 9th?
To the best of my recollection, yes, I did.
And to whom do you recall submitting it?
To Vanessa.
Okay. And you don't have any idea why in September of 2015 Vanessa didn't put a received stamp on it, correct?
Correct.
And you don't have any idea why in September of 2015 Vanessa didn't put her initials on it showing that she received it, correct?
Correct.
Now, is it possible that Vanessa didn't receive this disclosure form?
No, because she has it.
How do you know she has it?
Because you have it.
Well, how do you know that it was received by the Commission before this lawsuit was filed?
When was the lawsuit filed?
August of 2016.
Well, it wouldn't have been received before because this was in September of 2015.
Okay. Let me show you Exhibit 16. Exhibit 16, the project is SONGS, S-O-N-G-S, all capitals, I-S-F-S-I, all capitals. You recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
Is that your signature on the document?
Yes, it is.
Did you sign it on October 6th of 2015?
Yes, I did.
Is that your handwriting above your signature?
There is no. This was Dave Neese Jr. Would have been the person who handed this to me when we were finished. And then I read it over, and that was what I agreed that that's what we talked about, and that is what we talked about.
How long did this ex parte last?
This one was very short. It was during a break at the commission meeting itself.
Did you ask any questions?
No.
So David Jr. uttered 2 sentences to you and that's it?
David Jr. and David Sr. were both together, and David Jr. spoke.
And he spoke 2 sentences to you?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any documentation other than Exhibit 16 itself that shows when you submitted it to the Coastal Commission?
No.
Do you have any idea why in October of 2015 there's no received stamp on it from the Coastal Commission?
I have no idea about what staff does.
Do you have any idea why the person who received it from
Oops,
you...
sorry.
Well, let me ask, did you give it to Vanessa again?
Yes.
Do you have any idea why Vanessa didn't put her initials on Exhibit 16 when she received it from you?
Unknown. Oh, I remembered her last name.
What is it?
Miller.
Okay. Let me show you Exhibit 17. Exhibit 17 is an ex parte disclosure for Broad Beach.
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize your signature at the bottom?
Yes, I do.
Did you sign it on October 9 of 2015?
Yes, I did.
Who filled out this form?
This would have been Dave Nish Sr., I believe.
Did you read this disclosure into the record from the dais?
Unknown the depth that I gave at the dais. But I do have it recorded, I believe, on where it is on the dais. And that would be 3 hours and 51 minutes into the meeting.
Okay. How long did this ex parte communication last?
Very short.
Where did it occur?
At the meeting.
On October 6th at the Coastal Commission meeting?
Correct. Oh, wait. I would have to look at the dates. I'm pretty sure it was on the 6th, that it was 10:30 in the morning, so it would have been during a lunch break. So it makes more sense that it wasn't during a commission meeting, because it was at 10:30 in the morning.
So where did the meeting
It
occur?
was in Long Beach at the meeting, but I'm not sure if it were... I don't know the days of the week that October 6th was there, but I can tell you if we were meeting that day or if we were meeting late or...
October 6th of 2015 was a Tuesday.
So it would have been prior to the meeting. It would have been, I had traveled down on Tuesday and met with him in preparation for the meeting.
So on what date did you disclose this ex parte communication from the dais?
That would have been on the 7th, or would it have been on the 9th? I have it as the hearing date as the 7th, so I turned it in on the 9th.
Okay. Did you read this ex parte
Yes,
into the record?
Unknown what detail I was given at the record, if it was the entire word-by-word document, or if I concluded that it was similar to other commissioners.
Okay. Let me show you Exhibit 18. It is an ex parte disclosure for Newport Banning Ranch. Do you see your signature on that page?
Yes, I do.
Sorry, on Exhibit 18? Can I see your Exhibit 18?
No, I don't have a signature. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought you were asking me if I recognized it.
Exhibit 18 is for Newport Banning Ranch, and the communication was on October 6th of 2015, correct?
Correct.
You recognize the disclosure form?
Correct.
Is there a reason you didn't sign it?
My practice was that many times I would sign, sometimes I wouldn't sign, as long as I presented it at the dais, at the mic.
Did you turn
I
in
felt
this?
that it was covered.
Did you turn in this disclosure form before or after your oral disclosure?
After.
Show you Exhibit 19. Exhibit 19 is for Broad Beach. The ex parte was on October 9 of 2015. Do you recognize your signature on that document?
Yes, I do.
Did you sign it on October 9 of 2015?
Yes, I did.
When did you turn it in to the Coastal Commission? Well, let me ask, did you turn it into the Coastal Commission?
Yes, I turned it into the Coastal Commission. And that one, it would have been turned in, the hearing was on the 7th, and it was turned in on the 9th. I have that as a question mark, but it appears to be stamped, so yes.
So you had the ex parte communication on October 9th, correct?
No, this one I have a question on because the ex parte says, the ex parte was on the 9th, but I have it as the 7th, so I don't have an explanation. I did question if it were on the 7th or not, and then I did go to Broad Beach, and that was with the ex parte was, I have it as the 6th, so I think this is the wrong date at the top, because that was the same in-person meeting that I reported at the dais on the 7th, and I reported it as an in-person with Ken, Mark, Rusty, Dave, and Dave Jr., and I think that's it, yeah.
Did you read Exhibit 19 before you signed it?
Yes.
Did you sign it knowing that the date of the communication may have been wrong?
I apparently missed it.
Take a look at Exhibit 20. Exhibit 20 is an ex parte disclosure for the Huntington Beach Poseidon desalination. Poseidon. Do you recognize that document, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Do you see your signature on that document?
No, I don't.
How do you recognize the document if you don't see your signature?
Because I looked at it. It was in my possession when I read it on the dais.
You read this document?
I reported out on this document on the dais. I am not sure how detailed I was in the report.
Okay. Did you submit this document to the Coastal Commission?
Correct.
Do you know what date you submitted it to the Coastal Commission?
Based on my past practice, it would have been the day of the meeting or the Friday of the meeting.
So in November of 2015, that would have been either the week of November 9 or the week of November 16, correct?
No. I don't. I took it on November 3rd, and I don't have the hearing date.
Well, if the hearing was after November 10th, this ex parte would have had to be submitted in writing, correct?
Yes. It was late.
This ex parte, Exhibit 20, was late.
Correct.
It was after the 7 days.
And that was my past practice, because when I first started, I had sat with Peter and said, look, how do I make sure, because I'm traveling on these days right before, and some of these are time sensitive, and the meetings, the week of the meeting, many of them fall within that week, and I said, I just want to make sure it reports out on the mic. And Peter said, that's not a problem. He said, we're looking to make sure that nobody leaves them out. You know, and that's been my practice since I've been on the commission.
And you're referring to Peter Douglas?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know how many days late your disclosure? Let me finish. Do you know how many days late your disclosure in Exhibit 20 was?
I need to look at it again.
Hello?
And I assume it was 7. It's either anywhere between 7 and 10 days.
Okay. Let me show you Exhibit 21. Exhibit 21 is for an ex parte on December 10 of 2015 on the Newport Banning Ranch project. It's 2 pages. Do you recognize that disclosure, ma'am?
I do, because it came to me originally, I think, as an email from Terry Walsh.
Okay.
Okay. And so it was on 12/10 that this happened. And if my memory serves, I better wait until questions. So it was on the, I don't think I have any more to answer on that. Was there a question still?
Yeah. Did you recognize Exhibit 21, yes?
Yes.
Your signature doesn't appear on it, does it?
Correct.
Did you submit Exhibit 21 to the Coastal Commission as an ex parte disclosure?
Yes, I did, and I did it via, I forwarded the email that I had received from Terry on here.
When did you forward that email?
I don't recollect the date.
To whom did you forward it?
To Vanessa.
And you forwarded it from one of your county email accounts?
Yes.
Did you ever disclose this ex parte communication from the dais?
Yes, I did.
At what hearing?
I didn't do it until the hearing. Okay, so the ex parte, that's with, I'm on the Banning Ranch, right?
Yeah.
I can't answer that because I don't. Will you repeat again for me? I'm not sure what I'm confused right now about what exactly I'm looking at, because I know Banning Ranch was one of those on again, off again, postponed, extended to, it's a very complex matter that came before us many times.
Did you ever disclose the ex parte communication reflected in Exhibit 21
Yes.
From the dais?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
At which hearing?
It was at a later hearing because this was one that, well, wait a minute, you got this in 12/10 and you didn't report it, but I had reported it I had delivered it within the 7 days to Vanessa, or prior to the 7-day deadline.
Okay.
I remember that one, but I...
Take a look at Exhibit 22, please. Exhibit 22 is for an ex parte on April 15 of 2016.
Yes.
Did you, sorry, it was for an ex parte on April 5 of 2016, correct?
Correct, at 3 p.m. a phone call.
And you signed this form on April 13th of 2016?
Correct.
And you delivered it to the Coastal Commission when?
On the same day, the 13th.
Okay. But it should have been turned in by April 12th, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's an example of one that I would hold to make sure it went to the record.
You held it even though you were aware at the time you were holding it that you had 7 days to turn in the disclosures, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to show you an Exhibit 23. It is for a Newport Banning Ranch ex parte disclosure on August 10 of 2016.
Correct.
Recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
Did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
Did you sign it on August 10th of 2016?
It's unknown if I signed it on the 10th or the 11th
Okay.
when it was stamped, but
Did you make an oral disclosure from the dais?
yes, I did.
Do you recall whether you disclosed the full sum and substance of the ex parte communication, or did you disclose something else?
Something else?
What did you disclose?
I'm not sure exactly what my exact language was, if it was either according to the ex parte paper or if it was other commissioners had reported it out.
Do you ask questions during your ex parte communications?
I try not to.
You just sit there and receive info, but you don't say anything back?
I will every now and again say, is this what you're saying? But not, I try not to ask questions because I think it should just be information only.
Okay. And was that your practice throughout your tenure?
Yes.
I'll show you an exhibit marked as number 24. Exhibit 24 is for an ex parte on September 1 of 2016. Do you recognize that 4-page exhibit?
Yes, I do.
Do you see your signature anywhere on it?
No, I don't.
Did you discuss the 12 reasons listed in this ex parte disclosure during the ex parte communication?
I probably did not give all 12.
No. During the ex parte communication itself, during the ex parte meeting, did you and the other participants go over the 12 reasons to deny?
Yes.
And during the disclosures from the dais, you didn't go over the 12 reasons, did you?
No.
Is there a reason you didn't do that?
I think I did. I think I sent these two are the same two that I'm not. I think that I sent, because it was from Terry Walsh, and I think that this was a phone conversation that he had called, and I think it was available online to look at the 12 steps, and I printed them out and wrote at the top that it was by phone, and it was on September 1st.
You think
And the item was on Wednesday, the 14th.
that Exhibit 24 was available on the Coastal Commission's website?
Very possibly that these 12 points were on the website, yes.
Did your disclosure make reference to 12 points?
Unknown.
I mean, your disclosure from the dais, did it make reference to 12 points?
I don't know if I did make reference, it was 1 through 12 kind of statement.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 25. Exhibit 25 is for the Deposition project, DECICCO, on September 2, 2016. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
Is that your signature on it?
Yes, it is.
Did you sign it on September 8th of 2016?
Yes, I did.
Did you orally disclose this ex parte from the dais at the September 2016 Coastal Commission meeting?
Yes.
Okay. I'll take that. Take a look at Exhibit 26. It is an ex parte disclosure for Newport Banning Ranch, September 6, 2012. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
Did you sign the bottom of it?
Yes, I did.
Did you sign it on September 7 of 2016?
Yes, I did.
Did
You said the 7th, right?
September 7 of
Yeah.
2016.
Yes.
And you submitted this form to the Coastal Commission after you gave your oral disclosures from the dais?
No.
You submitted this form before your oral disclosures from the dais?
Correct, because I think the disclosure was on the 7th, correct?
And it states that it was received on the 7th by the Coastal Commission. I'm trying to understand whether you turned in this form before or after your oral disclosures.
It would have been after my oral disclosures.
So you would have read from this form to make your oral disclosures and then turned in the form?
Correct.
Okay. I'll take that from you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Let's go off the record, please.
We're going off the record, time is 4:59.